Okay, I'll admit that I'm not the target audience for Addison Rae dancing on Jimmy Fallon, and if I'm not careful, it would be really easy for people to take this video to basically just be, you know. So, to be clear, that's not what this video is about. I, like many other people, react with bemused confusion to the phrase TikTok dance challenges, and I don't know who Addison Rae is, except that they're far more famous and far more wealthy than I could ever possibly hope to be. So, this is not a critique of the whole white girl who dances on TikTok economy. However, there is just one question that I wanted to think about, which is, why did that video feel so weird? In the YouTube comments for the segment when it was put up online, there are loads of really negative people who say that they didn't like the segment because of Addison's dancing, or she isn't really famous, or she is somehow not a real celebrity. And I don't think any of that's true, or at best, it's only really very superficial. Really, when watching the video, all I could think was, haven't I seen this before? And of course I have. We all have. The whole point of these dance challenges is that they're endlessly reproduced gestures, constantly shared, constantly repeated. But on top of that, I actually checked, and almost exactly a year previous to this segment, another famous TikTok dancer, Charli D'Amelio, was on The Tonight Show teaching Jimmy how to do TikTok dances. So we have a form which is designed for constant reproduction being constantly restaged in front of us. Watching The Tonight Show then is an exercise in cultural deja vu, the endless repetition of the already familiar in a setting that's designed to grab our attention but to make no demands on us as a viewer. There's a really famous segment that Fallon does called Slow Jam the News. On YouTube, the very first result for this is the segment from June 2016 with Barack Obama. And Fallon intros the segment by saying that with Obama leaving office, now is a really good time to look back, but it is very specifically not a time for jokes. And this kind of raises an obvious question. If you don't go to Fallon for jokes, then what is he for then? And I think this connects to this video of Addison Rae doing TikTok dances. If you look at the title of the video on YouTube, Addison Rae teaches Jimmy 8 TikTok dances. The video from last year with Charli D'Amelio is titled Charli D'Amelio teaches a dad 8 TikTok dances. You don't go to Fallon for jokes or commentary or critique. You certainly don't to have your mind changed or challenged on anything. His function is to model the attention that we should be paying to the ones performing. He's there to show us how to watch his own show, passively and without any resistance. In a blog written a few years ago, the writer Mark Fisher talked about boredom. And he made the point that boredom is supposedly something that we want to avoid. It's negative, it's unpleasant, but boredom isn't necessarily all bad. Fisher uses the example of punk. For punk, the vacancy of boredom was both an opportunity and a challenge. After all, if we're bored, it's up to us to do something about it. This is a typical Fisher move too, taking something that's normally considered negative and in that negativity finding something positive, the possibility of something new emerging. However, the problem is that we don't really have the opportunity to be bored anymore. Fisher points out that boredom is kind of ubiquitous. As he puts it, we've given up any hope of being surprised by culture anymore. There aren't even any jokes on The Tonight Show. But we're so bombarded by this stimulus that it's almost impossible for us to look away. After all, Jimmy's point is not to keep us entertained, but to keep us attentive. Fisher argued that mainstream culture operates on a combination of boredom and coercion. We know it's boring, but it's so omnipresent that we're always engaged. As Fisher put it, no one gets to be bored, but everything is boring. And that is the banal horror of The Tonight Show that we can see in that video of a 20-year-old millionaire dancing in front of a middle-aged man. We'll watch along with Jimmy, seeing the same famous faces, playing the same games, and acting out the same tired bits forever.